Hi, this is Keith Cobb with Hiddenbed of Oregon, and I'm going to demonstrate the assembly process for the Smile Queen Hiddenbed. This is a custom installation with a top hutch and two side cabinets. So let's get started. The first thing we're doing is to install the bottom stretcher to the case side. To install the case back to the case sides. Now we'll install the case shelf. These graphics pins on the back edge go down and to the back. Install the bed stops. Now we're going to install they're called the lock blocks. I have set the screws in so that the points just barely come out, so that I can use that to find the piloted holes in the concealer here. And once we have it aligned properly, then we'll tighten the screws down. This is taking a star bit, which will be in your kit. Next step is to install the hutch partitions. There are also back cams for these partitions that need to be tightened. It's a little easier if you have a stool to stand on. There we go. Now we're going to install the backs to the hutch. It goes in with the graphics cams to the back. Now we will install the top. There's a lot of graphics pins that have to be aligned properly. We're going to do it from both ends so that we can sight it in and drop it into position. Now we have graphics cams to tighten on all the uprights here, and then there's two along the back side that we'll see later. Now we're going to install the mechanism for the hidden bed on both case sides. We start by installing these decorative nuts in each of the holes that are penetrating the case. And then there's two down here. Now this is the mechanism arm. They're going to be labeled as to which goes on which side, and it's very important to get the orientation correct. The hook goes up, the arm connects to the bottom of the mechanism plate, and we're using little 1/2-inch bolts to screw into the decorative nuts that we installed from the other side of the case. I have my assistant holding the decorative nuts from the outside so that they don't slip out while I'm doing this. And then we're going to tighten these nuts up, not too tight because it'll actually pull the nut into the wood if you're not careful. Just okay. Now we're going to fasten the bottom bracket using two 1.5-inch long bolts. And then we repeat the same process on the other side with the mechanism. Now we're going to install the front trim piece to the light bridge.
Which is surprising because it's a co-op.
We have two end trim pieces to put on for the light bridge.
Of these now.
Now the case is finished, so we'll move it into its final position against the wall. Put the desk in position for the second major assembly process. We're going to assemble the bed frame, and first we'll start with the bed ends and the bed front rail. Step is to set the bed frame on the desk ends. Notice that the hole in the desk end here is directly above this back hole on the desk. Okay, this is what's called the link pivot. and it connects the desk to the bed like this. Okay, once you've got the link pivot inserted from one side, you put the second plate on the second side. And repeat the process for the second side. So the next step, now that the case is assembled in place, is to slide the bed and desk assembly back into the case so that the trunnion holes are aligned with the mechanism plate. Make sure that the trunnion is properly aligned, insert the trunnion, and then tighten it. Now we're going to install the legs for the bed. First we install the decorative nuts into the 3 holes from the outside of the bed frame, and then we move to the inside and install the leg. Now we'll install the second leg on the other side in the same way we did on the first. Okay, now the next step is to install the bed support bar. Just fits in the cradle. The next step is to secure the bed support bar with a 1/4-inch decorative bolt which goes through the outside of the bed frame and screws into a piloted hole inside the bar. We're going to install the back bed panel, and we just have to slip it over the trunnion, so there's a little bit of alignment to do. Drop it in. Now we will install the front bed panel. And screw it in. Alright, the next step is going to be to raise the bed and lock it in. But before you do that, make sure that the bed locks are not extending out. Next step is to engage the mechanism arms with the what's called the tri-bear. For that, it's best to be sitting on the floor in front of the desk, and with both arms pull the mech arm down and around the stud, and then let it back up into the slot. Repeat the process on this side. Grab it with both hands, take some strength, pull it down around the stud, let it up into the slot. Now that the bed is completely assembled, the next step is just to do a quick test. Remove the locks and lower the bed. The best way to lower the bed is to press on the desk, grab the frame, and then gently pull it down.